Welcome, everybody, to the College Basketball Preview Show on the Grueling Truth Sports Network. I'm your host, Mike Goodpaster. Today, we're going to look at a Big Ten battle between the Penn State and Nittany Lions and the Indiana Hoosiers. Now, the Nittany Lions sit near last place in the Big Ten with a record of 5-12 in the Big Ten, 15-13 overall. The Indiana Hoosiers have won two of their last three. They're 16-11, 7-9, middle of the pack in the Big Ten. This is a huge game for Indiana if they have any hopes of getting to March Madness. Now, Penn State had lost 7 straight before they beat Nebraska at home, 89-72 on February the 19th, and Minnesota on the road last Saturday, 69-60. That was the first time they'd won 2 or more straight games since December. Now, they won 4 straight games December into early January, but since then it's been kind of a mess for Penn State. And they lost to Indiana the first time these two teams battled at home, January 5th, 77-71. Penn State ranked 67th on Ken Palm's adjusted offensive efficiency and 86th in adjusted defensive efficiency. When it comes to defense, Penn State hasn't played a lot of it this season. They allowed 73 points a game, 45.4% shooting, and 34.7% from three-point range. On offense, they average 79.5 points. They shoot 33% from three-point range. Now, the Indiana Hoosiers are playing better. Let's face it, at one point, they couldn't have played much worse. It's still been a disappointing season for Indiana when you consider that they are headed more towards the NIT, barring a few late season wins. However, Joe Lunardi has the Hoosiers as one of his first 4 out in the latest bracketology report, so they have improved there. They rank 50th overall in Ken Palm. A win over Penn State would help some. A loss would be devastating for the Hoosiers, especially at home. Indiana beat Penn State 77-71 earlier in the season, and they just beat Purdue 73-58 in probably their best performance of the season. They lost to UCLA by home at 4 in between the win against Michigan State and Purdue. Indiana is 59th in adjusted offensive efficiency and 48th in adjusted defensive efficiency. Arizona transfer Umar Ballo leads the Hoosiers with 13.4 points a game. Malik Renew at 12.8. The weird thing is they are better when they don't play both of these guys. And Mike Woods seems to have figured that out. And if they keep the roster the way they had, especially if they play the game the way they did in the second half against Purdue, Indiana should win this game easily. That's the problem with betting this game. You never know where it's going to go with Coach Woodson. Now, Indiana seems to get up for the Michigan States and the Purdues of the world, but this is the same team that lost 4 straight conference home games before the Purdue win. Now, do you expect a letdown for either one of these teams? Penn State had won 2 in a row. Indiana's coming off a big win against Purdue. I would really worry here that Indiana has a letdown. But I don't know. I think you got to just play one big most of the time here. You got Coda Niederhauser, who's 7 foot tall, and he could hang with the Hoosiers bigs, and Indiana shoots just 30.6% from beyond the arc at home. The point spread at 5.5 points, to me, is very scary with this Hoosier team. But I'm going to believe that Coach Woodson has learned his lesson. He will sub correctly. I think we'll see a lot of Luke Goody tonight, Trey Galloway, maybe even Anthony Leal. I think the Hoosiers win this game. I think they cover the 5.5 points. And if they do that, you're heading into a West Coast trip where you're going to play at Washington and at Oregon. You finish with Ohio State at home. If you win out, you've got a legit shot. You'll actually go into the Big Ten tournament probably as in the March Madness field. Then you just got to take care of business by winning a couple of games in the Big Ten tournament. With Penn State, this is a team that has struggled off and on. They showed with the win against Nebraska. Nebraska was hot at the time, and they dominated Nebraska, but that was at home. Indiana struggled with Penn State over the last few years. Indiana gets it done tonight. I think Indiana wins this game 75-67. I think they cover the 5.5 points. Bet the Hoosiers, and if you're going to bet the Hoosiers, bet them on the top sportsbook for betting on college basketball. Bet MGM. You can click on the link in the description down below if you're watching on YouTube. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification on YouTube. Check out thegruelingtruth.com, and you can follow me on X at gruelingtruth. But for now, this is Mike Goodpaster. You've been watching and listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.